And 3, 2, 1, boom. And we're back with another episode of Socratic Gamers. This episode brought to you by Zen Real Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenrealclothingco.com. Or if you're not interested in spending the money, just check out the free Zen Real radio playlist, zenrealclothingco.com. Oh, and if you pick up anything, make sure you use offer code Socrates for 20% off select items. Awesome. All right, so we're back doing these movie reviews, but not going to do it like the old ones where we'd like talk about it, score it, rescore it. We're just going to talk about it.
So it's not a review.
It's more like discussion on the movie Peninsula. So it's probably like the first movie back in theaters. Wasn't there? No, there was the Russell Crowe one.
Yeah, but this was out a week earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So this is technically the first movie back.
Yeah, it was a week earlier. It just wasn't in the theaters. Not all theaters, but it was released a week earlier. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So first movie of 2020. I was super excited. Let's actually talk about the COVID protocols first. So, what did you think of the way we were sitting? So I guess the only protocol is that we were all separated.
Yeah, you could only choose.
We didn't even follow that though. We just ended up.
You could only choose 2 seats. Like you buying the seats online, but only 2 seats every like there's like
3 seats in
there's
between.
Like a couple meters. And another 2 seats. So
totally.
But I think the max it could fill up was 49 seats.
Okay.
Right?
I personally like it better. I mean, obviously it sucks from an economics point of view, but like, I like the individuality of it all.
Like it was weird because like when we were gonna sit like that, someone was close to us. I'm like, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah, totally. So they were sitting in our spots.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's just sit wherever we want.
Because there was no one supposed to be on our row, right?
Yeah, no one's supposed to be on our row.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. Like when we got there, and then it was like, oh, our spots got annexed.
Yeah. It was like, how many of us was there?
5, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, 5 of us. Yeah. So
we attempted social distancing by like sitting in 2 separate rows, but still, I mean, like technically, if you think about it, it's like it's within your bubble.
So yeah, exactly, because we came in as a group, so we're just sticking together as a group.
Yeah. So if we're all in like the same bubble, I guess it doesn't really matter that we don't do the protocols. You know?
Yeah. No one was there to really
check.
I would have wanted to tell them.
I thought people were going to check, actually. Yeah. I was thinking that too.
But I would have wanted to
tell the people
double check with them. Yeah, it's like we're all together anyways.
But they already sat down, so it's like, oh, you mean like in case somebody comes in?
Yeah.
Oh.
But nobody came in anyway.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
You kept your mask on the whole time?
Yeah, I kept my mask on the whole time. You took it off, I think, right?
I was drinking the...
Oh, that's why.
The pop.
Yeah, it's a bit weird because people could buy popcorn and stuff, and it's like, well, you have to take your mask off to eat that. But they're recommending to keep the mask on the whole time.
It makes no sense. I don't know.
It's difficult.
I feel like they don't know what exactly to do in terms of protocols or like to keep some sense of normalcy. You know what I mean? So it's like...
It's difficult.
We'll just kind of... We'll recommend these things, but we won't like enforce them too heavily.
Right, but the thing is, like, for Cineplex to be there, it's not just the ticket sales are there. The portion of that goes to the movie and goes to the Cineplex, right?
Yeah.
But food is all Cineplex.
Okay.
They're money wise, I'm saying. So it's like it's difficult to really make it like you're cutting down so many people already who can be in the theater.
Oh, to also take out true concession.
Like, can you really take out the food because then it'll reduce their money even more? They had to kind of like it's like a balancing game here. It's like really
right. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like, yeah, you got to try your best to keep the revenue coming in. So if you cut it down too much, it's like, why did you even reopen?
I wonder. Well, because you bought it, I guess you'd get if any outbreak did happen from that area.
They'll let us know.
They'll let us know.
Yeah, they'll let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, like everyone's doing that right now. Like every restaurant, jiu-jitsu places, it's all about like contact tracing. So they're all like, we always have to give some sort of contact.
Yeah, well, my first experience was at Blaze Pizza when I picked it up the other day. It's like they asked me
your phone number?
My phone number. I was
like, really?
I need my number because I had never been asked that. Right?
Did they tell you contact tracing?
Yeah, they told me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But like it. Like we're distracting from the movie, but like we had like potential 500 cases. But that is from a strip club, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, would they give you your real name and a number?
Oh, I didn't even
when
think
they were
about
trying
that.
to do like they wouldn't do that, right?
That's true. I didn't
That's a
even think
little
about that. Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit of a difficult thing.
Did,
Anyway,
did you download the app? No.
No, I did
I
not
didn't. I did
download
not
that.
download the app either.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, but then people are like, "Oh, but it's your civic duty to download the app." But it's like,
I get it.
I need
No,
an incentive,
it
bro.
is, but if they're
Is
they've
it your
been
civic
doing,
duty? I mean, like nobody. It's not mandatory to download this app.
No, but they were already doing like that whole contact tracing the way that they were doing it before. So it's like that's another method that's already been like used. The
Right.
app just came out now, so
Right. If they made it mandatory, like it's like you can't enter this establishment without showing us your app,
Yeah.
then it's like okay, I'll do it.
I
But
think
like,
they
there's
already
no.
they had like about 1.5 million downloads.
How many people are in Canada?
Huh?
How
No,
many?
that is Canadian.
No, I know. How many people are in Canada?
Oh, like 35 million.
Yeah. So.
But that's including kids and stuff. But like I'm talking about people who have smartphones, right?
Right.
1.5 download within a few days is pretty good. I don't know what it is now, but it's still pretty good.
Do you think they put advertising on there?
They
Make
do.
They do.
Spent,
So they have like
I think
revenue.
they spend money on advertising.
No. I mean, do you think there's advertising on the app so that
I
they
don't
build some
think
revenue?
I don't know. I didn't even look at that.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
But
yeah,
you have
it's
to have
weird.
Bluetooth on and stuff like that, I believe. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause it's more like
Oh, so it'll alert me if somebody
if
has
someone is that
COVID,
is-
and then I walk closer to them. It's like
yeah, or
COVID,
like that
COVID,
area.
COVID alert.
Yeah, something
Wow,
like
that's
that.
weird.
I don't know how it really works, but something like that.
It's pretty
But,
intense.
if
We're
you
so
don't
digital
have it
now.
on, if you shut off your data, it's not really gonna work.
Yeah, totally. So we're so digital now. It's so weird to like think about
Yeah.
that. Like, but it's weird. Like I was thinking, if we lost our smartphones, I mean, I rely so heavily on my smartphone. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people are like, "Oh, don't do that." But this is my kind of thought with that is like, if you don't lean heavy on your smartphone, you're just gonna lag behind everyone else. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Santa Yoga, right? If we want to sign up for a thing, you'd have to find a computer, log in through the computer, et cetera, et cetera. But like, if you had your smartphone, it's like on the way to Santa Yoga, I could just register myself for the course, the class.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, there's
convenience.
efficiency,
Yeah, totally.
convenience, all in there. But the thing is, like, everyone has to upgrade to that right now. Like,
No, but
which is
that's what I mean. It's like
this process.
it's like if you don't join the, because like I know like some anti-techers, you know, people are just like, I just don't want to be a part of tech, and it's like, yeah, but we're in a tech world. You're gonna be lagging behind everyone else. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
feels kind of weird to me.
Yeah, you end up making your own group of that sort of thing, right? Like,
Anti-techers.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, all right. Think about for like what about like jobs or
No,
you know,
they're not
people
going to
have,
be in
like,
that. Why would they
LinkedIn.
be in that world if they're not going to be wanting to be in that world?
I guess. I feel like there's like like definitely a divide between like tech and like
Yeah.
the more into tech you are, the more affluent you are. Then
Right.
if you well, I guess because you have to be affluent to afford the tech. But if you're not in the tech world, it's
So the thing is, it comes down to this: those people that you're talking about, anti-techers, they're a very, very, very minority kind of group.
but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So
But
it's
they're
like-
not. They're like no. There will always be a minority of something here and there. But you got to look at the majority, which is everyone's going to use it when it's for the convenience. Why are everyone having smartphones? Well, you can talk to people around the world. You have family in other areas. Here,
Exactly.
WhatsApp is great for that.
Totally.
Or FaceTiming. And
Totally.
all of that is
Totally.
as long as there's a convenience and a efficiency way or like to use these sort of things, it's going to appeal to the major population.
Yeah, total. And that's why I was saying it's like it seems weird when people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't rely heavily on it," because it's like, but what do you mean?
Yeah, but
We're
that's only
connecting.
them, right?
Yeah,
They're
no,
a super
totally, yeah.
minority, and I don't think people will
Yeah,
necessarily like that's not like I feel like where I work is everyone's in like a normal bubble, so
normal bubble.
like then part of the majority kind of thing.
So they
it's like,
have tech.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. But I mean, like in terms of like tech literacy, it's weird when you come upon somebody who like doesn't really understand these things, and then you're
Yeah.
like you're trying to explain to them, but it's like, how do I explain wizardry to you? You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah. No, that's there too, with especially the older group, right?
Yeah,
'Cause it is. They were not used to this
hashtag
sort of
okay
majority-
boomer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they
Like-
weren't used to this sort of thing since growing up, right? So we
Yeah.
grew up with technology. So I wonder what will happen in our, like when we're at that age and like there's,
that is an interesting thing. Like we brought this up before, but like we grew up in an age without tech, and then we grew up in an age with tech. So like our adolescence was the transitioning from no tech to tech.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we basically saw the internet grow.
Yeah, literally. And then like remember they were saying before, like for assignments it's like don't find anything online. You want all physical. Remember that in the beginning? And then it was like, but then now it's like, oh, you can just find these like accredited websites. You don't even need like, yeah, you can find. They're like, yeah, Google it online, but on these specific like databases, you know.
Yeah.
But now it's like such a flip because like we were always looking for physical print in the beginning, right? We go to the library, but then you realize that like those books are out of date because they have to be printed, they have to be fact checked, et cetera. I mean, there's like legitimacy to them, but you're like 5 years too late.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's weird. It's weird, especially.
No, the information for those books are also available online. It's just you have to know where to look.
No, totally. So, but think about it this way: it's like when I was like studying like marketing, right? There's these textbooks that like give you these principles and like these like what their recent findings are, et cetera, et cetera. But it's like those were all done 2 years ago, and then now it's changed because tech moves so quickly. You know what I mean? So it's like weird that like we relied so heavily on physical print before, failing to realize that it's not up to date or
Well, there's always going to be the clash in the beginning. It's the issue of trust is there, right?
Totally. That's why I think it's so weird now that we're in this world now where everyone's obsessed with like online because you can find everything up to date. Yeah. Like in seconds. Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah. Like even with Googling, it's like it shows up in the beginning. Like right when you search it, it's like if you're searching for like something specific, it already gives you like right in the beginning of that search, like the definition or the explanation without even going into a website.
Yeah. I really like that too. Yeah. That's a cool feature. Yeah. I feel like we're smarter now because of tech.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of us are. Yeah, of course.
Like we can, like sometimes I'll be like reading something and then I'll be like, oh, what does that word mean? And then before it's like you had to find a dictionary and like so much work, you know, and like now it's like you just look at it. Yeah. Like start typing the word and you get the description right away. It's like, oh, cool. Yeah. Anyways, that was a total digression from Peninsula.
Very much.
So Peninsula, we checked that out.
Well, that world has no. Well,
the world has no tech.
Yeah.
Well, except for guns
inside of the peninsula.
Yeah. So okay. So Peninsula is a movie based on Train to Busan. It's not. The storylines aren't connected, but the world is the same. Yeah. Think of it like MCU. So in this zombie world, the first movie was about the zombies taking over, and this second movie is they call it the Peninsula because it's the sectioned off place in Asia where all the zombies are, South Korea, right? And nobody goes in or out. There's like quarantine. It's a quarantine zone, but then there's like a boat barrier. Yeah,
they're watching the like the coast guards. They're covering the
So nobody can go in and out, just so that they can quarantine that area and make sure everything's okay. But then these smugglers go in to try and find this money. And then they find out that people are actually still living in South Korea, which makes sense.
Yeah, it would be. I think we would find a way to survive it. Yeah, totally. That I think is very likely, very possible. Yeah, but then it's then again the fight about resources. That's what that was about.
That's what the movie. Yeah, totally. And remember, they were like, "But that sucks," because like whatever was left on the plant on that island is what you'll have. Yeah. Right. And they were already 4 years in. Yeah. So, and they were looking for like cookies, ramen, like anything that they like non-perishables. Yeah. That's not going to last very long. You know what I mean?
No. Yeah. I think there will be like,
cause you're not growing food.
Yeah. It goes into like, there's a lot of, like other zombie movies or shows that go into like like some people would go into cannibalism and things like that would happen.
Yeah.
So this was just like the beginning stages of these things 4 years down the line.
Yeah. Right? So what do you think of the movie? I loved it. Yeah, I know.
I thought it was good.
It was weird. I felt like I was the only one that when we walked out and like, what do you guys think? And I was like, oh, I love that movie. And then you guys were like, and I was like, what?
I think my issue was comparing it to the first one, and I feel like the first one was way better, but it had a different type of story. Because it was there was a fear in the characters about the zombies. So this movie was more focused on people. Zombies were like a second thing.
It's
because
like
it was
Last
like-
of Us.
Yeah.
Like how Last of Us, you think it's a game about zombies, but it's actually about like human interaction in
Yeah.
a zombie world.
Yeah.
Which is, I like that take because it's like, how would we act if we survived a zombie attack? Like everyone's always like Dawn of the Dead and like all these other movies are all about like the annihilation of the human race through zombies. But like this one is focused on like, well, we made it through the zombie horde. How is life after? It's kind of like right now, actually, if you think about it, it's like we have the COVID thing, and then it's like, what's life after COVID? You know, what's life after zombies? You know, yeah. So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I thought it was entertained, but like the budget wise, you can see some of the issues with it.
Yeah, but
I can look past those sort of things.
I chalk it up to being an Asian movie. It's not a Hollywood movie, so it's like
That's right. Yeah, I get it, and I don't know if COVID had an impact on that kind of thing.
true. Okay, yeah.
But they did release it. The thing is that
It felt like an Asian movie to me. Like watching, obviously it was an Asian movie,
Yeah.
but like the way it was like filmed.
yeah. I don't know because I didn't watch it. You watched Train to Busan very recently, so were the dramatic scenes similar, or was it more dramatic in this one?
No, they're way more dramatic on this one.
Yeah.
Like especially the ending. So like, spoiler alert for this. In Train to Busan, the only real dramatic scene was the final scene where he like died,
Basically, sacrificed himself
to save his daughter and whatever. In this one, they did that like 4 or 5 times at the end. So it was like a climax on a climax on a climax on a
Yeah.
climax. It was really fascinating how they did that final take. Like the grandpa died, and then you saw the mom was gonna die, and then she was gonna kill herself, and then he's like, "No, I'm gonna save you." And then he goes back. Then you think maybe the guy's gonna die,
Yeah.
and they all make it out alive.
The thing is, it's funny because it goes down. Like him saving her, basically was
karma.
yeah because he did not save her in the
Yeah,
first
so
point.
that was the twist. Like, so when they were leaving, they showed in the beginning when they were leaving the island, they showed that lady who saved him. She
we don't know these names. That's the problem.
June Park or something. I don't remember.
I think so.
Whatever. Difficult. It's not like John or something easy.
No,
But so she asked to be saved, and he didn't stop, and then later going back, it's the same girl who the daughters saved him, and then when he found out who the mom was the one who tried to stop him in the very beginning to
Yeah.
like save the kid. But then I thought it was pretty cool because like when he was feeling guilty, and then he went and he's like, "I've met you before," and then she's like, "Why are you telling me this? Do you feel guilty?" You know, and then he's like, he didn't say anything, and she's like, 31 cars passed by.
yeah,
Like, it's fine.
yeah.
You know, it's like, damn. But
That's a good way to put it when she said that.
like 31 cars,
yeah,
not
it's
just
like-
you.
Yeah.
So like, and she's like,
But
"You're-"
interesting to see how much of an impact it had on him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, totally. So this is what I was trying to get into last night when we were discussing it. That like, I think there's a huge divide between, like, all right, so entertainment plays a substantial role in the development of our psychology, right? And like, are you looking for their names?
Yeah. So Jung, I guess, is the main guy, and Min.
Jun and Min. So Min's
Or
the mom.
Is Min? I'll find out. Hold on, let me just keep
Alright.
on.
So it's interesting to me that like you can really see the development of Western and Eastern psychology based off of what we choose for entertainment, because the things we choose for entertainment will become what we feed our conscious mind with, right? So it's like it's like, what is the example of a hero in Western society? What's the example of a hero in Eastern society? What's the example of admirable traits in Western society? What's the example of admirable traits in Eastern society? And I think like watching that movie really made me remember why I like anime and why I like Asian movies, you know, because like the values that we hold in North America through like Western movies like Hollywood, it's all about like individualistic capitalism. You know, it's all about me, et cetera, et cetera. And then like in Asian cultures, it's about like the collective, right? Because like she was like a family woman. He went back because he had a duty to her. You know what I mean? Like that movie showed me so many admirable traits that we try to uphold in Asian culture. And seeing that, it's like, oh, I wonder if this is why people act the way that they do. You know, and we talked about this yesterday too about like music, right? If you listen to like rap songs that have no substance, then you're just filling your mind with no substance all the time. But like I like rap too, but like I like conscious rap. So like in my rap songs that I listen to, there's always like a lesson, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like you're just feedback looping that to yourself, you know? Yeah. Did you find their names?
Yeah, I was right. Jung and Min as the
Okay, cool.
two main people.
Nice. Yeah, so what do you think? Like,
Yeah, there was a lot of that in there. I did feel it's
but I mean, in terms of like Western, Eastern cultural perspectives, you know, like it's interesting when you think of it from that point of view. It's like, what are we feeding our social collective in both cultures, and why?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I think it's a good story. I think they would.
Because
for me, like I've seen a lot of different movies because I was always into these international ones.
Right, totally, yeah.
So,
but hold on, I was gonna say like in Eastern movies, usually the one who's like super rich. Like, all right, I think about like rom-coms, right? It's always like some person working in an office that finds love, but they're like doing like some menial task as like an assistant, you know, getting coffee, but like, oh, I'm trying to work hard to like make it up in capitalistic society. But then if you look at those kinds of movies, the people high up in corporate society are like looked down upon in Asian movies, right? They're usually like the sinister bad person who's like trying to think of themselves. And then you have the collectivist person who's the hero, you know, like think about the man from Nowhere. Was that the name?
Yeah,
Man from Nowhere. Yeah. So in that movie, like he's an ex-soldier who's like living on his own now. This is a Korean movie, and then this little girl, like he builds a relationship with this little girl, and then she gets abducted because her mom is like into bad things, and then he goes out and saves her. You know, it's like collectivist, you know what I mean? Like,
how do you feel
values.
about what about Parasite?
Parasite.
The one that won the Oscars.
Oh,
Korean.
in terms of like,
comparing it to.
It was still very family value. Remember, like the father, but they painted him as a bad person, right? The father was a corporate person, but he spent no time with his family, and then blah, blah blah. But then when it came down to it, he like sacrificed everything for his kids.
Yeah.
Like when that scene was when they were killing, and then it's like, yeah, there you go again. It's like, it's family values. You're reinforcing family values.
No, I don't
like,
think even in that movie, I don't think the family was a bad family. Like nobody was necessarily, even in Parasite.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, like, I was talking about the corporate person.
Yeah, the father.
Oh, yeah.
I know the rich family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but even with that, it wasn't really.
No, but right, but I mean, like, you're portraying him as like a workaholic.
Yeah, but I didn't view that as a bad thing.
No. But what I'm saying is like, it's like subtly, it's like, what message are you putting out? It's like, think about your family. Don't be such a workaholic. You know, even in Train to Busan in the beginning.
Yeah. Right.
She was like, you only care about yourself.
Yeah.
Because he was thinking about his career.
Yeah. Those are the lessons.
That's what I'm saying.
I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
But in Western society, you see those and you're like, yeah, of course, put your family aside. Yeah, like get this cash. Like think about like Wall Street, the movie, you know, or like Wolf of Wall Street too, or or like no, but like
But that
those
goes.
are
But that was the point of those
Yeah.
movies, was to show how that is not a good thing, right? Like, this is the issues with these capitalist things. That was the highlight that they're trying to show.
totally. But I feel like they glorify it too, in a way that's about like it's the American dream, right? Pull
Yeah.
yourself up from your
Yeah,
bootstraps, you know, like.
But that was a lesson within those movies.
Totally, yeah. But I can think of like a bunch of other movies that highlight that as a good thing, you know, like The Proposal. Do you remember that with Ryan Reynolds? He
Yes.
falls in love with his boss.
Yeah.
But it was like he would do anything for his boss because like he's trying to work his way up in the career. You know what I mean? Something like that. And it's like, yeah, the message there is like,
I
or
don't think
Ballers. Ballers is another good example.
Okay,
The
yeah.
Rock.
Yeah.
Entourage.
Yeah. No. I know, but like, I had something on my mind when I forgot it. But there is lessons within that to not do that, or to not be like that.
No,
too,
totally. Yeah,
right?
no, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. But think about
I think generally what kind of movies do well is that revolve around family, and
in Western society.
yeah, I think
You think so?
in the world, necessarily, I think what movies do well are those sort of things.
Yeah, maybe globally, but I'm talking about West in particular.
Mhm.
You know.
Like, I mean, superhero movies are nothing but about sacrifice, right?
Yeah. Okay. No. Well, kind of.
Mhm.
But like, think about their superheroes, like Tony Stark, rich.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. No,
So it's like but I'm saying like the subtle portrayals of like it's not overt, you know, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, that's
what
the
are
thing.
you putting?
Yeah.
What are these like?
They're not necessarily.
Subtle,
Yeah, that's
they're
right.
not trying
that's
to sell
They're
it.
Not
What I mean, like,
saying it, but
but
it's
look what a jerk Tony Stark is.
Yeah.
Look how rich Tony Stark is.
yeah,
But we all aspire to be Tony Stark. You
right.
see what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
he's a hero.
Yeah,
So like he's who you should become.
yeah.
You know. So that's why I'm like,
Like, but the end of his arc, he was again the sacrifice that he did for, even though he was going to
yeah,
lose
but
his
that's
family,
like
right?
80 movies in. You know
I know,
what I mean? Like,
but there
damn,
was an
bro.
arc. But that's the arc to the character in the comic
Yeah.
books, right? It's an arc, right? So
Totally. But what I'm saying is like, if you, okay, here's a better example because it's one movie, Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
So like, we liked T'Challa, but most of the society liked Michael B. Jordan's character
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, I don't want to deal with this like slavery. I'm gonna get my revenge. I'm gonna get what's owed to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like everyone loved that because it's the American dream. It's like, no, I'm gonna get what I want by any means necessary. But
Or
like
individualistic.
individualistic,
It's very
that's-
much
right?
individualistic.
So that's what I'm saying.
character.
So
Yeah.
like, if you have all these like subconscious programming things going on in Western society that are focused on individualism, whereas Eastern society is about collectivism, like that's just what you're gonna reinforce.
Yeah, I think again it goes back to what we talked about before. It's like it's
Chicken and
and
egg.
egg
Yeah,
again.
it's
It's like, well, where did that influence of
Right.
individualistic come from? And then of course they're gonna make movies around that because that's kind of like
What's popular?
what's
gonna
popular,
sell.
what's
Yeah, totally,
into
totally.
it, right?
But also if you look at like De Beers as a case, like a I don't know, what do you call it? Like a case something for it. Like
What are you trying to say? I don't.
like
De Beers.
De Beers is the diamond company.
Okay.
So like it's a case study.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out the word. I'm like case
Oh,
something,
okay.
case something. So De Beers is a case study. Like diamonds weren't important,
Yeah.
right? But then they spent so much marketing and putting scenes. Like they actually put scenes in movies about diamonds,
Yeah.
about buying a diamond.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to spend this amount of money in the diamond, right? So it's like chicken and egg. Yes, but there is also programming going on through these entertainment sources.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even with rap music,
Yeah.
you know, you get like superficial rap music and then you get like more meaningful rap music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do well.
But yeah, both do well. So what do you
Yeah, I was just thinking like what like the best movies, like the top rated movies, like Titanic and Avatar.
Okay. Well, but then those are pulling at more of a baser emotion, right? So like you're like Titanic's about love, right?
Yeah.
And but even in Titanic, he was like a little street rat kid who's like trying to swindle his way to the top.
Yeah.
Right, because that's how he got on the Titanic. Because only rich people can get there. So it's like, what is the subconscious programming there?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then than our maybe the other one about like Avatar, which is like our like innate emotion, which is like
Connect back with nature.
yeah, like oh, you've built the wrong thing, and maybe we know that subconsciously, like we built the wrong system, and we should connect back with nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're pulling at like maybe like the reason why they did so well is because they're pointing to us about.
But it's like those are North American movies, but they did well around the world.
Yeah, but also like was the marketing behind it? Maybe like because they're big budget movies, so like in the world, maybe they're like you gotta see Titanic, so people are like okay, because like even in like Asian cultures now, they're still Americanizing themselves.
Yeah,
right. Everything's becoming more westernized.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah, just something to think about.
Yeah.
But that's why I liked Train to Busan. Oh, no, Peninsula. Because it was all about, you know, sacrifice, doing the right things. Like,
right. Yeah, I think if
values.
you look at the movie for the core values that it's teaching, it's good in that way. Very good in that way.
That whole time, like, oh, you didn't try. Remember, like, his brother was like, oh, did you try enough? And then
we're sensible.
Did you make you made a sensible decision? But it's like, yeah.
Did you even try?
But see, like, look at the subconscious there. It's like you made a sensible decision, but maybe the sensible thing isn't always the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. So like, the mom was gonna kill herself at the end, and then that person was like, oh, she's making a sensible decision, and then that triggered him to be like, no, let me go save her.
Yeah.
You know, but like. That was because he remembered his sensible decision was letting his sister die in the very beginning of the movie. So it's like showing you that maybe thinking sensibly or individualistically, you know, is not always the best move. Maybe it's about like going for more value-driven things like family. Yeah. You know, protect your family.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with that. The values that are being taught in this movie are very good.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, like the cheese factor, like obviously in trying to sell those values, you were heavy cheesy.
Okay.
You know, like it was very cheesy, but I loved it though. That's why I loved it.
Yeah. I didn't hate it on those sort of things. It's just if you look at it technically as a movie, there were issues in that way, but that's a budget thing.
Totally, but it's like it's Asian movie. Like, what are you gonna do about that? You know what I mean?
It's I've seen good Asian movies, as I'm just saying.
But as compared to American movies.
Yeah, but I'm not. I didn't want to. Yeah, of course, if I'm comparing it in that way, yeah. But like Train to Busan was very good.
But they weren't going for like crazy graphics in that. Like, there was nothing insane. Like
there wasn't a lot of.
It was all within a train. So
That's right.
Like you don't. But like in this one, it's like the driving scenes were so intense.
Yeah,
and
very,
like,
very, very video gamey.
Yeah, it was very video gamey.
Very
but that's also why I liked it too.
Yeah. Had a lot of scenes that reminded me of Last of Us. Like just some of the lighting and the darkness of the world. It's like
I really like the martial arts in the movie. Like the way that main character, like those were some real moves. But again, it's like South Korea, like that's where Hapkido comes from. So of course it's going to be amazing martial arts, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Like even as soon as the kids came in, kids gonna be kids even in that kind of world.
Yeah, when they were playing around and stuff. Yeah, totally. But see, like, all right, think about it again. It's like Western, Last of Us. How did Ellie become?
Right.
She became hardened.
Yeah.
But then
the point it was
Eastern, it's like no matter how difficult it is.
No, but that was the point of the lesson in the game, was not to go for the revenge. You would have had a great family.
No. Right, totally. No, but like even in the first game, aside from Last of Us 2, the first game, Ellie was still pretty hardened. They were all pretty hardened. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they're living in that kind of harsh world. But like they overdid the kiddiness for the kids. But it's it's like you can find positivity anywhere. Yeah. You know, like that kind of.
No, but even in the second game they had that. Like in the beginning with the whole when they were living in Jackson. There was like kids you were playing, it's like snowball fighting with. It's like kids are
true, but that was like a one-off. Like
no, but they were saying like
totally. But it's like what was the main focus of those games? Yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's like you're gonna see like a split second of kids.
Yes. Again, are they like Western movies or games? And like, are they going to be Are they trying to be more realistic?
But are they realistic? Like,
are they realistic? That's a good question. And then in the Asian ones, are they
too unrealistic.
too unrealistic,
Yeah.
where
But-
there's always a happy ending.
But it's more about like totally, yeah. But at the end of the day, they're both unreal situations,
Of course.
right? But it's what is the programming you're doing? That's what's fascinating me. Like to see it from like a higher level perspective. Like how are you programming your masses? You know?
Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily programming. It's just like, oh yeah, what works for what? Because some movies don't
Right.
do well.
Okay, true. You're right.
Right. Some people don't like the movie, won't do well, right?
Yeah,
Like
true.
they hated that game because they wanted to have more fun. They hated The Last of Us 2 because they wanted to have more fun with these two characters that they loved.
Right.
But they didn't get
right.
that. So they hated it.
Yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
But again, it is a good movie. It sucks that it's coming out in this time where it's not going to be as successful.
I actually like the fact that it's coming out more this time because it's mirroring kind of what we're going
That's
through.
true. I
So
get
was
what
like,
you're
oh,
saying.
this is
Yeah,
a great, it's a great time.
It fit
you know?
the world of the current scenario that we're all in. It sucks that the movie won't do as well
True, yeah.
that it could have done.
I think it's interesting that we're living through our own zombie movie right now. You know what I mean? Like, but not. I mean, like not like the undead aren't coming back, but it's like the zombies are a virus. So it's like interesting that we're living through like a viral time.
Well, yeah, it's like it's
Like we've been prepping since we were little kids about this. You know what I mean? Like we've seen Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead, like all these different movies. So I wonder about this too. Like, how many movies prepped us for the current situation we're in right now? You know what I mean? Like Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of the Dead, like Last of Us, even like our past situations, right? Like our 2012, the end of the world.
yeah.
2000 was going to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like everything kept like SARS, you know, everything kept like prepping us for like get ready, and then
We still
2020
weren't
hit.
ready.
We still but like I think psychologically we're like
Psychologically,
kind of like
possibly,
finally, you know,
right?
like,
Psychologically,
finally something actually did happen.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like we've
True.
been overhyped. It's been anticlimactic, but I mean that just shows that people are doing their jobs well. You know, yeah. It's kind of weird too that it's like 2020. It's like the new decade began, and it's like we just started off wrong. You know,
Well, it technically started in 2019.
true, but there was no lockdown until 2020. I was like, ooh, okay.
The lockdown didn't happen until 2020.
That's what I mean.
But the
So I was like,
virus
that's kinda
came
weird.
about in 2019.
Yeah, the ending of 2019,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. Start of the new decade is you start off with
I know, yeah, it was crazy, bro.
crazy pandemic and
Yeah,
lockdown.
yeah. So, what do you think this is like a movie worth watching?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think if you like Train to Busan, you'd like this.
Yeah, I agree too.
Like if you like that kind of world, and I generally like a lot of Korean movies, so yeah.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of that
just-
in there.
It made me
Family, I mean, family
family
dynamic.
values. Yeah. So it made me think like I kind of want to start watching like other cultures movies. You know, like it could be cool too. Oh, what'd you think of the subtitling? It brought me back to anime. I was like, oh yeah, this is like I didn't even notice it after a while. I started like I'd read it, look back up, read it, look back up. You know, but it became so habitual that it was like I didn't even mind the subtitles.
I don't even think certain scenes. I don't need the subtitles. I understand what's going on.
Yeah, true.
Visually.
That's true too. Yeah.
Like I got the movie, even though I probably missed a few sentences here and there. It's
Totally.
like, but I understand. Look, what's going on.
It's
visually.
funny. It's funny to me too when I see like them going from their native language to English and the tone of voice.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes me think about like what do so like when you're speaking that language, that dialect, your vocal cords are different, your tongue is different, like it's the moving different, right? And like so then when you switch to English, it's like remember the captain, he had such like a high pitched voice, and it was like, oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, it would be like that because you're trying to mimic, you know. So I wonder to like genetically have our voices changed to mirror the sound it's supposed to make.
I think it's down.
Like why does my voice sound this way?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm wondering like, is it because if I were speaking Tagalog, it wouldn't sound this way? It would sound normal.
Yeah, it's a muscle thing.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
muscle thing.
yeah. So maybe we're like like evolved
Yeah, no,
differently.
like when you
Even though
talk
I've been speaking
speak.
English my whole life.
Yeah, when I try to speak it in another language, if I say it, I can't say it correctly because my muscles been used to the or has been like formed for the English language.
Right. Totally,
Right.
totally.
So to just say other words in different languages, I would butcher it the way they say it. It wouldn't be it would not sound the same.
Right.
Right. It's the same way when they try to speak English, it would be the same kind of thing.
And yeah, totally.
Right.
But it was shocking because like when he was speaking like Korean, didn't sound weird.
Yeah.
But then when he spoke English, it was like, why are you doing a high pitched voice?
Yeah.
But then like when you listen to speak Korean, it's like, oh, it is high pitched because he's trying to hit those pitches.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Weird to think about.
Yeah. Some of those. When they were speaking English, some of those characters I did not understand when they said it in English.
Oh yeah, well the subtitles were still there.
No,
Thankfully,
subtitles
I was looking for him. I was like listening. I was like, what did he say?
Yeah, what did he say? I didn't catch you. Like especially like one of the Hong Kong guys.
Yeah,
I had a hard time understanding his English.
Oh man, I love Hong Kong. That was like one of my number one cities. I don't know about now because of the whole craziness, but like, you know, don't even want to say it just in case we get like put in prison. That'd be crazy. But like, yeah, like when I was seeing those scenes of like him living in Hong Kong and then like, you know, how it is, I'm like, yeah, like that's such a magical place because it's like a perfect merger between like West and East. You know, like you have the big buildings, there's business going on in Hong Kong, like et cetera, but they all still wear medallions, talismans. You know, it's like they still hold on to those ancient customs because they believe in spirits and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I guess it's no different than us wearing crosses in the West. But it's like a different, like when people wear a cross here, it's like it's reminding them about like Jesus, right? But like in the East, it's like when he's like burning the paper or something, he's like doing a prayer, you know. It's a different feeling. Like he's wearing the talisman probably because he believes that it'll protect him, you know. Like there's some mysticism still there, which I find cool. Storytellers, they're storytellers.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, I have a cool story for you about storytelling. So like in Pacific Mall, so like I was getting this like bracelet remade, and this person was like trying to sell me. This is why I love going to Pacific Mall, and I love that culture. Like Chinese culture for me is so fascinating, or like Asian culture, because like she was trying to sell to this other person, and then she's like, oh, you must put a rooster and a dragon because the rooster and dragon are friends, and like the rooster will protect you for this, and like the dragon will protect you for this. And I was like, wow, look at you selling this story, but at the end of the day, it's just a piece of metal. You know what I mean? Like, I think for me, Asian culture really built in the sense of marketing because you're selling a story. Like listening to her sell the story, it's like, do you really believe this? Maybe you do believe this, but also don't you realize that it's like material, but like you're psychologically doing like a placebo effect on her. She right because she's gonna wear it. She's gonna be like, "Oh, the dragon's protecting me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play my lucky numbers today." You know, something like that.
Yeah. That's in a lot of that stuff. I liked. I was wondering, like from the beginning, like how are they? Like I like seeing from the beginning. If I knew it was like that was the time when everything started to everyone becoming zombies or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but I thought this movie was in the future, and then like the way they led to it.
Oh yeah.
And they had to kind of have a reason for them to come back in. So we were trying to get a perspective from the outside going in.
Right.
That's what they're trying to give us versus already being in it and seeing it.
Right. Because why would you want to go back? Yeah. So in case you listen to this, you're like, I don't get it. So basically, they became refugees in Hong Kong, and then with this score, if they got,
I don't know, were they refugees or illegals?
Illegal, whatever. Yeah. So with this money, they would be able, like, even if you don't, what he said was like, even if you don't get your status as a citizen of Hong Kong, at least you'll have money to like live well, because they were each going to get like $2.5 million each. But I already thought from the very beginning when he's like, oh, what's our cut? And the guy was like, half. And I was like, okay, you're going to screw him over.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
that's exactly
the
what
first thing I thought was like, you're going to kill him at the end. Like, how are you going to offer him half? Maybe it was like, I'm going to give you each like 100K, it's like, okay, that seems reasonable. But if you tell everyone you're gonna get half of this pay, it's like,
But now all that money's stuck on that boat, right? And no one's.
true. Yeah. Well, that's Peninsula 2.
Or yeah, whatever the
They
next
hear
movie is
about
gonna
the
be called.
boat that,
Yeah.
yeah. What are they gonna call it? Money Heist. A movie. What do you call it? A Train to Busan movie. Remember at the beginning they put like Peninsula, a Train to Busan movie. Do you see that in the title?
Train to Busan presents.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So it'll be like the third one will be like Money Heist. Train to Busan Peninsula presents. Right? It's like that's how they're gonna do it. Yeah. Yeah, I really like the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Any final things?
No, I thought it was good. I don't know if I mentioned that. It felt like the drama stuff felt also like kind of reminded me of Bollywood for some reason.
Oh yeah, you're saying I don't understand that at all. So
Like the drama aspect of it. Like there is a lot of family drama. There are
in
a lot
Bollywood?
of those. Yeah.
Oh, but see, there you go. It's like it's going back to the Asian values of like family values in Asia. Actually,
I haven't watched anything recently, so I'm basing these on older Bollywood movies. So.
right, totally, yeah. I was gonna say that it's funny, like we're talking about like Asian values. I was like, when I was studying like yoga, and a lot of the things that we were learning, I was like, oh, this is like standard Asian values, like, but because I was doing it in the West, it was like these are all these like nuanced things, like and they were like amazed to hear about all of these like typical Asian things.
Yeah.
Like think about other people, or you're not an individual. Like it was like it almost seemed like yoga was like trying to deprogram the individualism within us, but then having already experienced like the communal side, it's like, oh, I get where you're going with this. Yeah.
It has an appeal to the
individualistic consumer.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, that's probably
because there is something you're missing. Right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes these sort of things, when you find them out, it's like they're very helpful to those people.
For sure. So. And I think that's also why, if you go back to like Buddhism, the middle way, right? So like we are missing things. Like I remember like when I was studying yoga and martial arts so religiously, and then like being like, but what is it like to have a job? What is it like to like have money? I didn't understand these things. And like going to that side now, it's like, oh, you can really take this, like you can become like a crazy lifer or something, like you can take this the wrong direction. So it's like what you're saying is something's missing. It's like, yeah, balance. You need both, like the spirituality and the idea of pursuing capitalism.
Yeah.
Because like even in these, like now that I'm in the capitalistic world, it's like, well, not fully in the capitalist, but you know what I mean? But like, it's weird to hear people talk about anti-capitalism within a capitalist system. And it's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like
the world needs both.
Right? Like it makes no sense to me. Like when you hear about like anti-capitalism, but we're living in capitalism, makes no sense. It's
even like those Swedish nations, they're also capitalist.
Yeah, but nobody thinks about that. Yeah, totally.
They have good social structures.
Yeah. I remember I asked this one question before, like, oh, what kind of society would you like to live in? This person was like, I'd like to live in a commune. And I was like, unless you're completely off the grid, you're still a part of the capitalist system. Like, does that communist, does that communist system, does that communal system, what did I say? Communist, communal,
yeah.
Commune, yeah, communal, yeah. So if you live in that commune, like, are you pulling in resources from the outside world because the outside world runs off capitalism? You know what I mean? It's like we don't think about it holistically. We look at it like parts and not the whole.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think there's a lot of people that don't understand how a lot of things work,
and they're quick to push
quick
their
to judge
ideals
on those things and not understanding how it.
Yeah, just look into it. Yeah, I totally agree. That's why my favorite picture from Banksy is it's like a lineup, and like all these like punk rockers are lining up to buy anti-capitalism t-shirts because it's like so ironic, because that's like, right, you're like
that's
selling.
a good one.
Yeah, I don't have that picture up. I should put that picture up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, so definitely check out Peninsula. It's worth it. You're gonna feel really heartfelt at the end. It didn't make me cry though.
No.
I kept feeling it, like you're trying to make me cry right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
like push my heartstrings, and like you know, you're getting there.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah.
It did not make me cry, but I do like I like movies that do.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
totally.
it didn't.
Because it was too much cheese.
It was yeah.
You
I
know?
think that was the thing.
I feel like Train to Busan almost made me cry.
Yeah.
The ending, because it was
Yes.
like that one was so unexpected.
Yeah.
Like you did not expect the father to die for
Yeah.
the kid, especially after the kid was
I'm not
like, you only
sure-
care about yourself.
I'm not sure if I did tear up for that one or not. But yeah.
And then as he was turning into a zombie, he was remembering when his child got born, and then he was smiling, and
Yeah.
it was like, oh damn, bro. You know, but like in this one, they were trying to pull that off like 5 times, and you were kind of like, okay,
I
you're
think
really
it was.
trying.
I think it was more because I didn't feel that the zombies
Were a threat?
Were a threat. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I think that's why. If there was real threat,
Because that soldier was a beast, bro.
yeah.
He was killing everyone. The mom too, was killing everyone. You're like, whoa, okay. You guys
Yeah,
gotta chill out.
exactly. Right. It's like
It made
I
them into
didn't-
jokes,
Yeah.
right? Like it turned them into jokes. Like the little kids were like messing with their heads
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's the probably the reason I felt.
Yeah, you didn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
sure.
I didn't feel fear for their lives.
Right. Whereas in the Train to Busan one, you felt it.
Yeah.
And then when he finally died, you're like, whoa, didn't
Yeah.
expect. I thought it was gonna be a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely check out if you listen to this, check out Train to Busan, Peninsula, Man from Nowhere. What are some other good Asian movies?
I like Pandora.
Oh yeah, you're talking about that. Yeah. Gotta check that out. Netflix?
It's on Netflix, or at least Canadian Netflix.
Yeah.
There was another one I don't remember. But that one goes into like afterlife and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Asian anime is really good too.
Mm-hmm.
They present the same values and storyline, just hand drawn, not human actors.
Yeah.
That's it. But like watching Peninsula, I was like, oh, this is like an anime. Like it's exactly like an anime. You just have human actors.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenshin, great one.
Mhm.
That's like anime, but also they turned to live action. So that was cool.
I'm watching Japan Sinks 2020. So
Japan, what? Sinks?
Sinks, like
Sinks.
SINKS.
What's that?
It's like an anime on Netflix.
Oh, cool. All right.
That one's pretty good. I only watched the first episode so far.
Yeah, I
Also
hear-
around
I hear-
family.
Oh, okay. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear Netflix is like doing really well with anime right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Maybe I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so check those out. And also check out zenrealclothingco.com, our sponsor. Make sure you use offer code Socrates at checkout if you want to save on 20% off for select items. But if you're not into spending the money, just check out the free Zenreal playlists. They're up there, zenrealclothingco.com, Zenreal Radio. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.
Bye.